very much to all of you. After the first 15 to 20 minutes where the team was trying to settle down, understand the positioning of the opponent and how to position in the pitch according to what we had planned, I think it took us for a very good first half. We finished with scoring one goal. We could have scored more, but really nice the way we found the spaces we wanted to find, the way we committed ourselves with the collective game, the way we brought the same mindset in terms of attitude from Rowan up to Ikram in the front. I had told the boys that today it would be important that we would be as one, so that we could be much more than just the head of every one of them, and that's what we saw. Strong commitment, strong attitude. Really happy by watching that. At halftime, we just showed the boys that the game that was on the pitch was exactly the game that we were expecting to play. We needed to be strong and committed to keep the attitude so that we could find, obviously, the second goal. And from there, the game would naturally be more manageable in terms of substitutions, of bringing players inside that could take the game for a more simple game, let's say. Obviously that fantastic. We entered the match strong again. We score. We make the second goal, and then obviously there's a sequence of events that change a lot the dynamic of the game. Obviously, starting with the red card from Jayden. There's not much more to say regarding that. That takes us to a 10-man play, but this team is mature enough to manage it. So we continue to we reorganized ourselves. There was still energy in the players that were on the pitch. We knew that we had the energy to bring inside. We reorganized the team, bring in Marcelo, and we scored the third goal. The goal was, as you saw, an absolute legal goal. There's nothing to say. Even the fourth referee, so the line assistant referee, he didn't raise the flag, so it's clear, and the referee must be very sure to go against the decision of a fourth referee. The goal is legal. We would be leading the game by 3-0, and that would be a normal game to manage up to the end. After that, obviously the game, the emotions changed a little bit. We started to feel a little bit and then there's a penalty that is a penalty, but that comes from an offside position of the player that makes the pass in the box that touches the hand of Mudau, a clear offside position. So basically, there are in the match of today 2 goals that are not, one that is not given and one that is conceded that should not have been. And after that is managing time. There's a 2-1, obviously. A lot of emotions, a lot of players on the red line, let's say, regarding controlling their emotions. We needed to help them. In the first moment, we tried to keep the team with players that could take us in the front, but we understood that would not be easy. And we gathered energy, we gathered emotions, we gathered spirit. We helped the boys. We brought then in the last change Keegan to stretch a little bit that line, defensive line, because they were obviously giving a lot of width in the team and trying to aggressively changes of flank. We did it. Then we asked Brian to close also from in front of the line of 3 that we had in front of those 5 players. Wow, commitment from the boys, took the game up to the end. Congratulations to them. I think that it's 100% deserved. And it takes me back to, unfortunately, very bad emotions from last year when we played away against Golden Arrows. I think you remember that match where we were also taken away several goals that we scored in a very bad memory match that in the end we drew. where in the end I said that whatever would happen, we would be champions, and that happened. And what we promise is that from our side, no one will take out anything from the will, the capacity, the intention, the commitment that we fight for that until the end. South Africa must choose what kind of football they want to have in the future. I don't see myself in this. I don't review myself in this kind of things. I don't review myself for sure.
Thank you, Coach. We'll take questions from the floor. Please do remember to introduce yourself.
Good evening, Coach. Nick Gleeson from Backpage Media. You spoke now, just very briefly, about one or two of the refereeing decisions. I mean, we had the other coach coming in, and also he's spoken about it before the season after they played Kaizer Chiefs about the need for the implementation of VAR. Just what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, because look, I'm not speaking about the referees. I'm speaking about the situations. I'm not addressing the referees. I'm addressing the situations that are too many, and we've been feeling that systematically. And obviously also referees have emotions, and probably they understand they make mistakes, and that also touches their emotions. This is a movement in the game that should be addressed collectively by the different agents, from the coaches to the players to the referees, because I'm not judging intentions. I'm judging the situations that happen, that in the end all of them came against us. So that's what I'm putting on the table. I think that the referee of today, for sure, he would be very, very happy if he could have a VAR that would help him in the decision in the third goal that we score. And he would be very happy because he will arrive home and he will see that penalty that he gave, and you'll see that there's an offside before. And I would like to remember that last year, from the same side on this pitch, we had on the semi-final of the Cup, we have a 1 meter offside that was not given against Kaizer Chiefs that would take us to it would allow us to still fight until the end of the match for the result to go on the final of the Nedbank Cup. So it's too many mistakes. So I think the VAR in South Africa should be a reality as quick as possible, of course. It can also help to regulate in which pitches matches are played, because it seems that also in South Africa, some championship matches are played in venues that are not in the level of the championship, of the teams, of the football that South Africa wants to have. And it's very clear that. So VAR is not for tomorrow, it's for yesterday. VAR implementation is a process that will take time, because there's also need to educate the VAR referees. So as quick as it starts, the best. And I think that when VAR will come in South Africa, there are other measures that should be taken in consideration, especially the venues for the matches, of course, because there are fantastic stadiums in South Africa. I was speaking yesterday with the president of the National Portuguese Association of Football Coaches, and he was telling me that he was here in the World Cup. And he was telling me, Miguel, wow, they have amazing stadiums there. And I said, yeah, but we play in small ones where people think they get advantage to take the teams there. This is not football, it's nothing. This is absolutely ridiculous. And it's time for people to raise the hand and say, let's develop the game the right way. Let's put us to play football in those places where the game can be praised and can be watched and enjoyed, and because that's how it is. I'm pretty sure, I'm sure that most of the coaches would like to have that. And I will not tell names, but I speak with several coaches from PSL, and some of them, they say, I don't want to play on this pitch, but I'm obliged to. If I was my decision, we would not come here, but we are obliged to. So it means that also the education of the people that is in charge of the clubs should happen in South Africa, so that people understand that the game is a game to be developed by everybody. The best game we can have in South Africa, the best, everybody will profit from it. Players will develop more, will enjoy more, and will be sold probably by higher values. So it's something that needs really to be addressed in the deepest of the responsible people from football, like the federation, PSL. I don't know. It's not up to me to say who is responsible. Minister of Sports, I don't know. It's not my job to do that. What I think is that South Africa really needs to understand a little bit whatever they want. As for example, I'll give you another example. How is it possible that we're going to play on Tuesday? We tried to change the date of this match, and the only thing we could is even go to play in a pitch where the conditions are even worse to be played. And 2 days after, we have to play a Champions League match, a fourth of final of a Champions League. This week, the Ligue 1 in France, they delayed officially. Ligue 1, not PSG. Ligue 1 said, you don't play your match during this week because you have to be in conditions to play Chelsea. And we saw already other teams this season during the qualifying rounds to delay matches to play the qualifying matches. This season. Last year the championship finished and there was teams playing after we finished. We were already champions and they were still playing. So water for someone is water, but for others is wine. I really don't understand. Maybe I'm out of this world. Maybe I don't know nothing of South African football. There was a coach that said I know nothing about South African football. I don't need to know. I don't need to know. But I know what we feel as coaches, as players, as a club, to be put in a situation like that. We don't defend just the badge of Sundowns. We defend South Africa as a nation when we play Champions League. When I'm in Portugal, when it's either Benfica, Porto, Sporting, Braga, Guimarães, whoever playing internationally, I want them to win. But here we still play this cat and dog or mouse and cat game that I want you to lose when you go to play there. Come on, what we are speaking about? We want really to have this kind of positioning, or we want to really defend collectively the South African football. Last year I was very happy to see Pirates on playing the semi-final of the Champions League, and I was not happy that this season they lost in the qualifying round with Lupopo. I was not happy. I would like to see them playing and Kaiser Chiefs going forward, and because that's what makes the dimension of the football where I'm part of it bigger. And I want South African football to be listened everywhere. I'm gonna, as I told you, the president called me because he wants me to speak in the biggest congress that we have of football in Portugal. And you know what he asked me? I want you to tell everybody in Portugal what is the reality of South African football. And my question is, what I should say? This? Or I should paint it beautiful and make it a very beautiful package and offer it to Portugal? What I should do? Or tell the truth? Because if I tell some things that happen here, people will say something like, what? No, it's not possible. Really, believe me. And when national team participates in tournaments, international tournaments, the level is completely different, the organization is completely different, the things don't happen that way. It's like when Sundowns goes abroad, and it's a reality. We need really to think about this, how we want the football to be in 10 years in South Africa. And I don't see those thoughts taken deeply, and I see people still fighting against each other. Kaiser Chiefs, Orlando Pirates, Mamelodi Sundowns, Stellenbosch, Sekhukhune, TS Galaxy, and up to the Durban seat and up to the last one in the table are teams that should join efforts to develop South African football. It's a joint venture. It's not an individual effort. It's a joint venture. As much as we defend the business itself, the more the clubs will be powerful. And it's not it's a joint venture, not an individual thing. But, okay, it's what it is.
Gentlemen, already 14 minutes in the presser, so we're going to take 2 questions. Okay, Skepe, then Lauren.
Coach, Maskepe Power FM, what would you say, if you could describe or maybe just share with us, what would you say has been the change? There was a time when the club couldn't, get 3 wins in a row, but now you've got 6 in the league. The team seems to be, playing much better. What has been the difference? Ikram Reyners comes back, is scoring. Silas comes back, makes an assist.
Look, let's. The answer for this question is probably in my statements in that time. If you go back on those press conferences when we spoke about that, probably you'll find the answers. What we got stronger. We got players that made us stronger. We got an attitude, collective, that is in the direction of the values we have in the locker room, and we are living them and expressing them every day. We are more committed than ever. We are more together than ever. We spread love more than ever. We train harder than ever. That's Mamelodi Sundowns. Today in the morning, the boys congratulated me for this coaches award of the January and February, and I told them that what I want is the March one. And that's the attitude we have to develop, is look forward, because what we did in the past is the past, and we need to relate with the future. There's a lot of questions I addressed in the beginning of the season that you just need to go back and look at them, and you'll see that probably we were right. The question is how you can continue with the right focus in order to continue to regain and come back for the line we established together. Last week you were asking me on the message. 4 days ago or 3 days ago, you were asking me about the commitment between the sports direction, the chairman, and ourselves as coaches and players. The support you receive every day that makes us move, that makes us really believe that we are respected and considered and loved, and it's the support of people. And in the morning I was telling the boys that exactly that. Look, there's no coach that exists without a very strong locker room, and everything comes from the boys, from their reaction, from the capacity they have to connect, to be united, to struggle, to fight against when they are struggling, and we get energy out of challenges. Sometimes it's like that, but we need to keep our focus, because it can turn around. Football turns around, and we need to be very, very committed. And there's another one on Tuesday. It was supposed it should be played on the weekend, but we're going to play on Tuesday. And for sure, we're going to be very strong. Either conditions or whatever conditions we're going to face, we're going to be very strong. And if we stay committed with each other the way we are, well, we'll be closer to win the next match. Because in this moment, believe me, in our locker room, we just think about the next match. So from today, I had already a talk with the captains in the locker room to make 2 or 3 things in order to create conditions to win the next one. And that will be our talk when we'll gather now after dinner and wish and pray together. We will pray for the next one, for the energy, for the commitment, for the well-being, for the health, for the and we are hardly trying to keep our locker room as committed as possible. Today was so beautiful to see again all the players, the ones that were not even on the list, in the locker room together, singing, pushing, energy. Yeah, team is committed. Let's just continue that process.
Coach Lorenzi from Middlesbrough Times, congratulations on the victory. You always say it's easy to manage a group of players when you're winning. But how challenging was it in that period where there was question marks over whether this club can win the league? Obviously, you're back on form. Maskepe said 6 wins in the league. And also, from the outside, there were suggestions that you maybe even lost the dressing room at one point. But you see Adams going to the bench, Allende going to the bench, coming back in stronger form. Does that show the commitment from the group? And so my question is, how hard was it to manage the group? Because I can imagine it wasn't a good locker room for a couple of weeks. And then going forward, dropping players and then showing the commitment and coming back in the game.
Look, I have to confess to you that I never felt that there was any kind of losses in terms of managing the locker room. Obviously that when you don't win here and then or here and there, the emotions are not the same as when we are together. But we don't have we have memory. We know what we did in the past, and as I told you, we lost 2 cups on penalties. That unfortunately didn't give us trophies, and I repeat. In one of them, there was not even one entry in our box or a shot in our goal. But it's football. Of course, that is difficult to raise on the next day when you lose trophies like that. But the players know very well the direction they want to go. And people in the club help us permanently. and keeping united. And I always said that the doors of Claude Copper are very strong, very, very strong. What happens outside is outside. What happens inside is another story. And I think that there was also a lot of manipulation regarding a lot of things. A lot of manipulation. You saw me always very calm. Of course that, and I don't want to go back on the questions that came from the beginning of the season. It was not easy for us. Not easy. It was very tough. But you can find those answers in the past. We had to fight back. We had to fight for everything. We had to try to obviously go in the best of the emotions altogether. Keeping some belief, keeping energy to our fans, to our supporters, to the people we love, the ones that cheer with us, trying to put away the bad interferences on us. Because it's always like that, you know. People try to take advantage from the moments. And obviously, if they felt that they could find breaches to enter on us and touch it, but we showed that we are courageous. We have a strong back and we handled it. But football, we just need to think about tomorrow, because whatever we did is 5, 6, I don't know how many matches. I don't look back. I just know that we have to play Orbit on Tuesday, and that is the challenge we have. And from there we see what we have ahead. But no. Orbit, because no one in the locker room is thinking nothing more than the match with Orbit. Believe me, no one. By the way, even tomorrow we have already a friendly match, so that the players that didn't play today are ready, not only for that match, because I don't know who will play, but for everything we have ahead. And I'm pretty sure they will make a hell of a match tomorrow, because I know the character that the boys have. And then we go for rest one day, try to re-energize a little bit, enjoy the family, enjoy the free time, enjoy some of the things that life of a football player doesn't really provide, at least with the quality and the frequency that they would like to have. But it's an opportunity also. And then we gather again to prepare the Orbit match. And until the Orbit match, and there's nothing more on the head of these players than that match and the victory on that match.
Please make it quick, please.
Very
That's
short.
one. Thank you, sir.
Coach, congratulations on the win. It was announced that today you are obviously the coach of the month. What does that mean to you? And does that also vindicate the work that you've been doing, that you are in the right place and you are appreciated for the work that you're doing here?
Look, obviously, I would be very, very, how to say, not even serious if I would not say that I stay happy because of it. But I stay especially happy because it gives a lot of energy for my family also in Portugal. For my papa, my mama, for my brother, for my wife, for my son, for my friends. They all get a lot of energy out of this. But I see these trophies as a very strong collective achievement. Very strong collective achievement. So today when I got that, and they were telling me, congrats coach, on the group, I just put it hearts on all of their messages, and I'm waiting to arrive home, sit on my sofa and write back. But I had that talk in the morning. And it's really something like that trophy means that the guys stood up for the moment, and that is what I want. And really, believe me, on that one, I will pick a sticker and I will write something, because that one is really theirs. It's really theirs. Of course that we work hard to allow them to win. We study a lot, we discuss a lot, we sleep not much, but in the end we just want to see them smile and give that hug in the locker room. That is a hug of someone that really is, that is joy. This is the biggest thing that a coach can receive, is a hug of a player that is satisfied, a player that comes on the bench and gives you a word of and tells, bravo, thank you because you helped us on this, or the smile after. Sometimes it's a small thing that makes us believe that we are useful, we are helping, we are just giving them tools to make what they do best. And that's how I see the trophy. And also for the club, obviously, the support of the club, the support of the chairman, the support of all the board, the support of Mr. Fleming, the support of my coaches that are, I'm such a pain in the ass for them, with all the respect. Really I am, because I push them to be better every day, to discuss more and more, to take the things to the limits. for the analysts, for the medical department that work hard to bring the boys, from the fitness conditioning and science department, from everybody that in Clorcop, from the kitchen, the nutritionist, from shopping that works on the press, that sometimes is so hard to deal with. Me today was so hard to deal, you don't imagine, because I was so hungry after the match. But we know what we want to achieve together. We know where the limit is. We know to say, excuse me, when we break the line. We know everything. And because we know that everything we do is in the best interest of the club. And we stick together on it. So this trophy, I give it to all of them, to my family in Portugal and to everybody in Clorcop. If they would want to take it and put it there, they can put it, because it's what it means. It's the clubs.
On that positive note, thank you, coach. Thank you.
Bravo.